The Biden administration just added insult to injury with respect to illegal immigration right before Mr. Potato Head president was to head down to the border for a meeting with Mexico's president on Monday and Tuesday. The lack of immigration law enforcement over the last 2 years has been stunning. And now the administration is asking the American people, who have pretty much been as tolerant as they can be so far, to be obligated to help the illegals once they are here. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are the antidote to the daily onslaught of radical woke Marxist propaganda. So the White House spokesman and professional liar John Kirby said in a press briefing that Americans are now obligated to assist in the integration of more foreigners into American society. And in the same way, the liberals have conflated legal immigration with illegal immigration all along, and they do that intentionally to confuse you. They are now saying that you're obligated to help foreigners become acclimated to American society. Now, first of all, there are plenty of ways that legal immigrants who do it the right way and who conservatives love assimilate themselves to American society. Okay? They don't need the government to come in and ask you for your help. The way that they're doing with this. What these clowns are talking about, from what we understand and through the experience we've all lived through over the last 2 years, is that they expect to bring in more people from south of the border, and now from around the world for that matter, through a phony program the Biden administration came up with to mask the fact that 99% of the people coming in are illegals. They're saying that they have a jobs program, like a work program. But no, that is the cover story, so that the misinformation fake news media, whenever they talk about it or people complain, they go, oh, it's just a work program. Yeah, they're not going to talk about the 5 to 7 million illegals that are already here and still coming over the border each and every day. And get this, the fake news media, the way that they report it is Biden toughens border, offers legal path for $30,000 a month. How the hell is that toughening the border? So in the presser, Kirby said, quote, "You can't forget that we do, as a nation of immigrants, have an obligation to provide better tools and pathways for them to come in." My answer to that is, oh my effing God. Can we just get one thing straight, please? We are not a nation of immigrants. Let me repeat that. We are not a nation of immigrants. We are a nation of citizens, many of whom are immigrants. But most of all, most people were born here. Most people in this country were born here. If your ancestors were immigrants, then you are not an immigrant. If you were born here, you're American born, you're not an immigrant. The leftists always use that tactic to make you feel guilty if you're against illegal immigration. Kirby also said that Biden is attempting to balance the greater immigration influx with efforts that just curb rather than end the illegal migration that most Americans oppose strongly. He said, quote, "This is a president who understands that safe and legal immigration into this country is a key cornerstone of our own security and prosperity, and that he is advancing ways to improve those legal pathways to entry, and that the illegal migration is curbed as best we can." In other words, he is creating newer ways that they can come over the border illegally and just be declared as legal. I guess part of the rigorous testing program of the Biden administration is, this one's breathing. And of course, this is all nonsense. The Daily Caller recently did a piece where illegals who come over our El Paso border illegally before Biden's visit to the border said the message they heard from Joe Biden is that he told them to come to America. They said, quote, "We sold everything to come here because President Biden told us to come, and now we can't return because we are targets for leaving," one illegal migrant from Venezuela said. No, that doesn't sound scripted at all. Because you see, they got the lawyers like in CARE and other groups that tell them, well, look, you're not really a refugee, so you don't have refugee status, so you can't ask for asylum. And they're going to find that out and kick your ass out. So what you got to do is you got to tell them that you'll be punished if you try to come back for leaving. That's what they do, because to be a refugee, you either have to be persecuted by your government or there has to be a war that's going on in your country where you could be harmed. Neither are going on in Venezuela right now. Venezuela is just a shithole because of socialism. Okay, so this is what the lawyers, either in the private groups in the private sector or the Biden administration themselves, are telling them what to say. So now they get to say, hey, look, it's not our fault. Your president told us to come. And now because we listened to your president, we can't go back there because we're going to be persecuted. Doesn't that fall in line perfectly, a little too perfectly, for people that are paupers from the third world? It sounds more like somebody that went to Harvard Law. So they talked to a guy named Joshua, who was another illegal migrant who came over. And he said, quote, every president has policies, like the subject of immigration and war. President Biden has good policies because he allowed in people from Central and South America. Look, the fact of the matter is Trump also allowed people in from Central and South America, but they had to come in legally. See, you can't have 10,000 people every other day coming over the border illegally and then create some kind of work program. Oh, yeah, all those people, they're going to work. Yeah, we got all kinds of jobs here. Millions of Americans that are unemployed, but we got the jobs for the people that are coming over the border illegally. So you can't mark them off as being illegal anymore. So he went on saying, unfortunately, policies changed. But in general, I think he gives us all a chance because we deserve it. What did they deserve? Nobody deserves to be an American citizen. You have to want it and you have to work for it. We got people that come here legally, go through the legal process, and it takes them up to 9 years, some more, to get in. So what the Biden administration is doing by letting these illegals over the board and then roam the country, it just cheapens the efforts of the legal immigrants who come. And why is that okay? So the Biden administration wanted to create a program where they say that, well, you can register to be here to work, knowing full well that they're never going to leave. I mean, remember they had the day programs where they would come here and they'd work and then they'd go home? Many of them never went home. They're still living here. We just didn't give a damn under the Obama administration. And see, the illegals don't do themselves any favors either, because they're here legally. They can't get legitimate jobs. They can't do a lot of things. They gotta live in hiding. Or a lot of them do anyway, right? They gotta worry about getting caught all the time. They should just come in legally, but we shouldn't make it easy for them to come in legally just because the Democrats want them to vote for them the rest of their lives. And when you turn around and start sending messages out there that they're not going to be deported and that they're all going to be allowed to come in and roam our country, get benefits, which they shouldn't get, but we know they get Biden phones and they get a little debit card and the little welcome packages, and they get put up in hotels, they get flown to whatever city they're going to go to, unless, of course, you're a Republican flying them out to sanctuary cities, then you're evil, right? The pro-illegal immigration folks are always saying that conservatives are heartless bastards who don't like immigrants. And that's because they're all a bunch of slimy and sleazy people who lie. Conservatives love legal immigration. Legal immigration. Because those people who come here through a legal port of entry and go through the process to become an American citizen, hell, we know what they went through. We know how much they wanted it. And they get jobs and they pay taxes. And don't tell me, illegals pay taxes too. Yeah, under the wrong Social Security number because they had to steal it. Right? I mean, there's no excuse for allowing illegal immigration. And yet this administration has made that our policy. All right, so that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in the next one.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car.